Thanks so much. Well, that's quite a challenge now to live up to that one, but we're moving back to technology a bit. So good morning from me. I will start with, when I was at school, actually programming courses or informatics was super rare to have that at school. But I had one teacher, Mr. Maurer, who was actually really passionate about the topic. So he brought it to our school and he offered classes for grades 9 and 10. Now, I took one of those classes, and I must admit, I didn't fall in love with programming from first sight, not at all. And it had to do with the fact that we didn't start with, for example, coding Hello World, where you see immediate output on screen. We also didn't build a nice website for my dance school. We also didn't build like a nice simple game like a Pac-Man or something at the time. No, what we did as a class project, we built a basic invoicing system for a utilities company, meaning our output was electricity bills for households, not even in color, but in black and white. So I must admit, as a 14 or 15-year-old girl at the time, I wasn't super excited at that point. However, what that class taught me was I can code. And I really didn't think that I would be interested in it or that I would even be able to do it. So 2 years later, when it was about time to decide what I do next after school, I applied for a seat in a dual study program combining informatics and business administration at the Cooperative State University in Mannheim, and my first employer that I signed the contract with for this dual study program was our big partner here, SAP. Now, what do you think? Would I have chosen this path without having had a chance to look into coding before? In 1998, I must say, now you can calculate, but anyways. So in 1998, when I must say, like just 40 kilometers north from here, where I grew up, at 1998, basically no one knew who SAP was, I must admit that. And also, coding at the time was something for nerds more than today. And to be precise, something for male nerds. So to me, I must say Mr. Maurer, the guy with the informatics course, plus my parents, who always supported me and my sister to not only look for, let's call them stereotype female jobs, they really opened a door for me that I didn't know existed. And why am I telling you this at all? Why is this here on stage? To me, it's really important that we all know we live in an era where technology is changing everything, every aspect of our lives at an unprecedented pace. Jens alluded to that yesterday as well. And I would say with all those changes that are coming, there are also responsibilities and challenges coming. And if not us here in the room, a bunch of technology professionals, who else can inspire and guide the next generation to really work on shaping a digital industry or digital future responsibly? Like, who can do that if not us? So, thank you for that. Now, I believe, really, it's up to us to inspire the next generation to not only use technology, be consumers of technology, and we all know they are heavy consumers of technology, but really to become creators and innovators and shaping the digital future for us, but especially for them. Now, how could you do that if you now think, well, yes, I agree, but what's the point? How can we do that? That's one reason why I thought about, well, let's bring Hacker School on stage, because I've worked with them in the past, and I really see these initiatives really help us as professionals who maybe don't know where to start and what can we do to engage. And then in this example, I must say, like in Germany, still informatics is not part of the curriculum of most schools, and especially not at an early age, but maybe later, but not at an early stage. And Hacker School really goes into the schools at early age and provide, for example, half-day workshops for kids, but actually, Julia will talk about that more in detail. I don't want to spoil everything. But still, they go in there and they help educate together with volunteers. And for me, this is not only helping educating, but it's actually helping democratizing tech education across schools and across society levels, because it also starts very early, and that's very important. Now, I already said I invited Hacker School to be here, and actually, one thing that I wanted to show you, we have the CEO here, and she's super passionate. She will all inspire you. But I wanted to also bring some impressions from the schools, actually. So I'm very happy that Julia shared with me a video that they produced for schools. So basically, it's actually addressing teachers. But still, let's please roll the video and take a look at how this works in the schools.
Wir sind die Hacker School und wollen eure Schülerinnen und Schüler für Programmieren und Zukunftsberufe begeistern.
Wir schicken echte ITlerInnen für einen Vormittag digital ins Klassenzimmer.
Mein Name ist Sven Heiden und ich bin IT-Projektleiter bei der Deutschen Bahn.
Ich hätte mir als Schüler auf jeden Fall so einen Kurs gewünscht, weil ich das gerne mal ausprobiert hätte.
Ich bin Pierre, Senior Manager bei Deloitte.
In jungen Jahren ist es super hilfreich, viel auszuprobieren, sich mal die Sachen anzugucken. Und so ein Kurs ist dafür ideal.
Ich bin Despina.
Das Besondere an der Hacker School ist, dass sie das Programmieren ziemlich einfach beibringt.
Wir teilen die SchülerInnen in Kleingruppen auf und dann können sie sich direkt selbst ausprobieren und eigenständig ans Programmieren wagen.
Ich könnte so einen Kurs auf gar keinen Fall anbieten, in kleinen Gruppen ganz gezielt betreuen. Das könnten wir ohne die Hacker School nicht leisten.
Das ist eine Webseite, dadurch ist es HTML. Dann seht ihr hier oben...
In der digitalen Welt geht ohne Technik natürlich nichts. Wir haben dafür Checklisten und das machen wir natürlich gerne mit euch zusammen.
Ich bin Till und im Kurs war ich noch etwas zwiegespalten, ob ich jetzt weiter Informatik mache, aber jetzt bin ich mir ziemlich sicher, dass ich bei Informatik bleibe.
Und dann würde ich euch
Ich finde es wichtig, dass man Kindern auch zeigt, dass IT nicht nur für Nerds ist, sondern für jeden zugänglich ist.
Ich habe tatsächlich die Erfahrung gemacht, dass gerade bei Schülerinnen so eine Art Mauer durchbrochen wird und dass das wirklich so ein Stoß nach vorne war in ganz neue berufliche Welten.
Da wir uns virtuell in den Klassenraum zuschalten, sind für uns die Lehrkräfte wahnsinnig wichtig. Diese halten den ganzen Kurs über direkten Kontakt zu dem Inspirer und können dadurch eine tolle Atmosphäre im Klassenraum ermöglichen, als auch die ganze Zeit wissen, was gerade abgeht.
Es hat halt einfach extrem viel Spaß gemacht, weil man einfach wirklich alles machen konnte, was man wollte.
Ich fand's toll, es hat sehr Spaß gemacht.
Müsste ich vielleicht auch mal buchen.
Bei Fragen und Interesse guckt gerne mal auf unserer Website vorbei.
Oder kommt zu unseren Infotermin für Lehrkräfte.
Wir freuen uns auf euch.
Isn't that great? I love that. I totally love that. So, well, please, let's welcome, give a warm round of applause for Dr. Julia Freudenberg, CEO of Hacker School. Hello. Oh, here. Which seat do you want to take? This one, this one?
It's all fine.
All fine, right? How do you feel? You just arrived this morning here. How do you feel? How do you like our blue sea here?
Oh, it's amazing. It's really great. Just seeing yourself on three screens at the same time, it's a bit confusing, but as my son was always on these pictures, it's just great.
Very nice. Perfect. Now, let me start by saying, actually, the last time we were in a conversation like this, you were interviewing me for your podcast. So
yes.
I totally love that I can now give that all back and ask all my questions that I want to ask you.
Is this a promise or a threat?
It's both, most probably. No, let's start with maybe, it's always great to learn a bit more about the person first before we jump into Hacker School, I think. So let's start with, what did you want to become when you were a kid?
Somehow I always wanted to change the world. I was not specific about Hacker School, this would be illusional, but it was like, I always loved to have an impact, to change things, to support a lot of animals, like my mom was, again, a bird. But just being in a position where you can really do things is always was really smashing for me, and so I did a lot in this area.
So did you start as well, like your first profession? Was it in this area already, like impact somewhere? I know it, but I need to. I just need to tell everyone what you did first.
I try to remember what I told you. No, I was on Waldorf school, so probably some of you know this. It's a different school type where you, well, learn to dance your name, to put it in a funny nutshell. But I was playing violin for 30 years. And actually, I wanted to study violin, but some illness of my dad and some accidents with a car later, I was more like, no, economy might be a good thing if, in case I have to support the family. And there was a company in Hamburg who were just producing ice cream. And as I learned that ice cream is really important, I started there and was really happy about that.
And you stayed quite long, actually, I think, at this. I think you can name the company, it's totally fine. And even the brand, I think it was Ben & Jerry's. Probably there are some in the room that actually like it. I think you were responsible, like, in Germany to roll that out, or what was it exactly? Like,
yeah, something like this. So actually, it happened for me to be in sales for about 20 years, which is actually, as well for my current job, not that bad. And yes, I love to be at Ben & Jerry's. So I had the honor to meet Ben Coe and Jerry Greenfield in America, and just seeing these people like really believing in what they're doing. Like, okay, the company before they sold it was, well, not earning any money, so probably just being passionate about things will not pay your rent. But just being with them and learning and understanding what impact means and what guerrilla marketing is, like doing crazy shit without money. I, well, did this a bit more professionally before that. So yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah, I guess so. And guerrilla marketing, I think you're doing that really great with Hacker School now as well. So how did that shift then happen? Like, how did you move from Unilever to Hacker School? How did that come about?
Well, there are always just incidents in life where you see, looking backward, it was supposed somehow. Like big companies always do play a bit like roulette, you know, just decreasing the number of people working for a company. And so my job changed from being the nice cowgirl, the ice cream lady, to, what is it, dried soups? And we like, geez, this is not sexy. I cannot sell dried soups. And it was like, hey, honey, we were talking about a second child. What about this now? And I wanted to do a PhD. And just combining all of this, I created a volunteer project in refugee camps to write CVs in different languages, to have them start in Germany. And this is how I met Hacker School. And as I was somehow trained my whole life to do double pace, in a sense, like working and studying, working, doing PhD, being CEO and a mom, it was like, yeah, challenge accepted. You know, I have the coolest IT, no offense, the coolest IT guy in my perception at home for over 20 years. And I'm just super proud and happy to watch him grow, in a sense, like he will never grow up. And just him staying a child, learning how to learn. It's just like, oh, I've just found this. This is so great. Have you checked? And me like, yeah, it's great. And having kids at the same time and seeing this passion about learning and exploring the world, and seeing the kids being in a school system where, well, at least passion is not the only focus, to put it in a nice way. Just combining these things to shape the future was just, well, natural.
Very great. Like, first takeaway, I guess, is always just look out for the opportunities, and you don't need to have like a linear CV or something, but you can change completely from one to the other side. Coming to Hacker School a bit and to your mission, I mean, you said like you really want to take care that, like, with a focus on Germany first, and I guess Austria now as well, that's what I heard, that kind of every kid has a chance to look into coding before taking a career decision, right?
Yes.
So why did you, or the founders as well of the Hacker School, pick exactly that? Why is this the topic that you're driving?
Well, basically because here in Germany, we are the land of the certificates. You need a paper for everything. And we are the land of prejudices. Like, we still have the idea that girls cannot do math. Why? We are not calculating with the ovaries. So it is in the brain. And so girls can do math. Girls can do whatever they want. But as we have this strong prejudices, like, you have to find a way to overcome. And you know that you remember just a small percentage of things that you just hear. If you speak, write, talk about, do it, you remember quite more. And just having kids experiencing self-efficacy and 21st century skills like creativity, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, just experiencing all this stuff through writing some lines of code and understanding that you can do it, that you can be part of the story. This is really It is important, and both for the IT guys and girls, the kind of grown-up ones, we call them inspirers, and the kids, because they experience both, like what it is to communicate, to understand, to learn and grow together. And if you just can see the eyes of the kids sparkling, you know why you're doing it.
I can imagine, definitely. Can you share with the group here just like maybe one example how that would practically work? Like we would have, like I already asked here my SNP team, like who would be interested in maybe becoming an Inspirer. I just asked that I think like 2 weeks ago. And we already have, I think like 15 or 20 signing up for the, let's say, info call, not yet becoming Inspirer. Some were mentioning that, but at least getting some info. So what would you say? Typically, when an Inspirer is engaged together with Hacker School, how would that work? Maybe just in a brief.
Well, just take a leap of faith. As life starts at the end of your comfort zone, just go there. Just sitting around and say, yeah, we should do something. You know, in Germany, we never have an issue with understanding that we have an issue. We are not, like we don't have a Verständnisproblem, we have a Umsetzungsproblem. So just get a shit done. This is where mainly the issue lies. And just, if you know that you like to inspire others, this is not meaning like you like to be on center stage and holding talks, but more like, are you passionate about what you do? Like I could tell from my husband, he's getting every day 3 or 4 offers where to work for, and I know the paycheck of my husband. It's nice. But just, I believe that there is hardly any guy or girl working in ICT who does not like what he or she is doing, because if they don't, they simply swap. And so just, if you like what you do and have a profound idea about ICT, like about Scratch, about HTML, about Python, it doesn't matter, we prepared courses. So just please go to the website, have a look, come to an onboarding, like what is it like to work with kids? Like our main target group, officially target group is 11 till 18, but when we go to schools virtually, it's between 12 and 14. And like to all of you who have kids, the age of 14 is more like closed due to construction, whatever. So it's well, not that easy, but you can learn to deal with them. They're not bad kids, they're just having special issues. And so if you learn like some tricks, how to really get to the core of someone who would like to learn. Like for example, if we do an HTML course, like the kids are in school, we just join through a Zoom call and just coding in small groups, like each Inspirer get 4 to 6 kids and just working through a course. For example, if they do HTML and have one of these under construction, kids, like, what do you do? Just show them at first hand how to integrate a YouTube video on a website. Yeah, okay, then they should just watch stupid stuff for 10 minutes. Who gives a No, I should not swear on the stage. So it doesn't matter. But afterwards, they're fine. It is more like you learn how to deal as well with different, with complicated customers. Well, there's no such thing. Let's say with other complicated colleagues. But just be in a position to accept what's there, to work with it, and to just understand that you could change things just by being you and just doing things, not complaining about it. This is how the magic works.
And to continue with that, I know that you have quite some numbers in mind for scaling that, like how many kids you want to... Do you want to share that number? Is that a public one? Share it, and then maybe continue with how can companies help? Because we have so many tech companies in here. It's not just SNP. I've showed you like the partners, etc. Right? There are so many people here who can get involved. Like, how would that? How do you see the role of the companies in that whole mission, and how do you get to the number?
Let's talk about numbers. What is the sense of having a North Star thingy? Like, we have a lot of engagement for digital education. Like, for example, there is an initiative in Hamburg which are supporting girls for 1 year to have internships in great companies, to have coding. Yes, great, they reach 12 kids per year. This is amazing. But we have 6.5 million kids between 11 and 18. And if you got 12 a year, you will need about, I don't know, 1 million years to reach at least half of it. And by the time all of them are dead. So what is we are trying? It is really to scale up digital education and to ask the companies to be part of it, because there are no IT teachers. There's not one reason for someone who is smart in IT to be a teacher in school. Why on earth should you do that? They don't pay any money, not decent money compared to what you could earn in this world. You have your customers all day long in front of your nose, and trust me, that's not fun. The kids in school, well, I absolutely appreciate teachers who do this job and do it passionately, because, yeah, I can't probably quote Volker Pispers, who used to be a great, well, comedian, who said the raw material delivered to school is not that crazy anymore. And what I'm going to say is, like, we have a lot issues with the kids to deal with. Like, what is the ADHS, ADHS, whatever thing? Like, they can't concentrate thanks to the parents. Why can't the kids concentrate? Because concentration starts at the nappy changing table and in the, what is it, pusher, Kinderwagen? Like, where normally the kids learn to hold this eye contact. But where are the eyes of the parents? They're somewhere else. And so, not complain about it. This is what we got. But it makes it even more important that we scale like hell to reach all these kids. And our aim is to reach 1 million kids by 2030, probably 2031, because it's quite tough. But why 1 million? 1 million is a great number. It is just 1 and 0. You can divide it by 10 and it's large, so it works for politics. But what is the idea behind it? We have 750,000 if we just aim to reach 8th grade. All 8th grade classes, Germany-wide, it's 750,000. So another 50,000 on ferries, 200,000 in company courses. Like, for our understanding is if we reach 5 kids in school, 1 of them will continue going in a weekend class in a company which is taking place on your premises, so you have the kids right away. And this is what we need to actually defend the shortage of skilled labor. We don't have that much kids anymore. Yeah. And it's my story is this: leave no one behind. It's not because you're so nice and you want to save the world. It's a bloody economic necessity. Yes. And so this is why I'm really aiming forward to create a movement and to get all your companies involved, because the inspirers, the people who burn for what they do, who are passionate about ICT, these are the people who, please, give us as a gift 10 hours of their life. Like 1 hour check the courses, 1 hour go to the onboarding, and then join us 2 mornings for 4 hours each to inspire the kids. With this setting, you can reach, as a person, 12 kids to change their lives. And we know that especially a girl needs a positive contact with coding just to see the other things.
Yes.
So just very short story. Once upon a time, we had this before, like I was in love with a guy who was in charge of an Aldi area, like this discounter somewhere in Dortmund. And in this time, I just saw these blue trucks. I was like, geez, another one, another one. And right now, 25 years later, I could bet that they are not in business anymore. I haven't seen a truck in ages. Why am I telling this? Because we need to get this, I can do it. I have self-efficacy, I can code, on top of the brains of the kids, especially of the girls, because then they will do it. If they do not believe they have a chance to participate, then they're out of the game before it even started. And this is the trick, how all of us together can change the digital education in Germany, can fight shortage of skilled labor, and can get the girls into ICT, because this is absolutely needed.
Absolutely, yes, definitely. I think you were at an event last night, which was covering exactly that topic as well, but also connected to AI and generative AI and what does that all change. And actually, I got the question when I said Hacker School is coming on stage. I got the question, but why the hell do we need to actually still learn how to code? Because now ChatGPT can code. What's your
answer? Isn't this great? If you understand AI as a means to leave your brain at the garderobe and at the front door, then I'm really sorry. Then you are out of the game too. Now, it is more, thanks for this question. I get it a lot, like, why should kids engage in STEAM or Mint and whatever thing? It doesn't matter, AI could do everything. Yeah, it can't. Well, it can support, but in my understanding and what I'm using AI for as a support, as a great intern, is to get suggestions, to really work with it. I'm doing every day, and I love it. That just Gen AI stuff is amazing. I could never have write a book without this kind of support, like talking all the text in my Mac, having it translated via whatever thing. But to just believe that AI allows you to not think anymore is to be honest, it's very close to stupid. At least it's very careless. And what I think is, if we do not want to have very few people being in charge of every decision, then we need to make the kids understand how it works, how an algorithm works, like especially for supporting democracy. And I'm still shaken, like from the results of the European election. We have right-wing party again as second most important party in this land. How dare we? How can we? But what shall we do? Like telling them, hey, this is really stupid to vote this way. Have you read the program? Do you want the girls back in the house having just kids? No, this is like actually to affront people. It's not that smart. But to show them what we are working on is creating a course with data literacy, false news detection, social media, and coding. Like showing them like how they can influence their own news bubble. Like me, for example, I will never ever click on a link where I can see it's from the Bild Zeitung. They have the license to lie. They have the license to make people hate each other. I will not read this stuff. And so I hardly get any stuff of this in my feed.
Yeah.
And just you can influence stuff if you know what the shit is about.
And exactly, I think it's super important that you're always building that forward. You're always building new concepts and new content as well for the training. So, and so you're going with that. I see we have 4 minutes left. Let me just ask one more question to you, and I have a bit of a closing then. But last question to you, is there anything that I missed asking you that you definitely wanted to share?
Well, summed up in a nutshell, if you believe you are too small to do things or to change things, you never slept with a mosquito in a room. Like, I think this was the Dalai Lama or some guy who knows like things work. And what I believe is, and I really, really pray for that us Germans, we are really good in two things, finding out why it's not going to work and who is to blame for it. And if we just start to change things, like support initiatives like us, not just Hacker School, there are many others, great initiatives, but you could support just with money. I have a team of 65 people, now I need 2.5 million euros just to pay them. You could talk about it. You could send your kids to coding courses. You can support us in Inspira as a company. We are not doing this for us, but we are building bridges for a win-win-win situation for the kids, for the future of Germany, for the companies. And it's not that hard just to start and do things to hack the world a better place. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Please, a warm applause again for Julia. Stay here, please. Thank you as well for staying until the end. I just wanted to mention one thing, because we said this is a sustainability plenary and we didn't touch on like everything from E, S, and G, but we actually only covered the S and only parts of it, but that was a super important one. I did want to mention corporate sustainability and ESG is such a huge team effort. It's never only one person, one woman show. There are many people that are supporting the whole efforts in the background and are not here on stage. So I definitely would like one applause as well for everyone in our company and in your companies who are working on any ESG initiative. That is super important to drive things forward. So one more applause, please. Great. And I think with that, the last point I wanted to make is, if anyone here in the room also wants to get to know more about Hacker School, we also even have the colleague Matthias from Julia here as well in the group. He is Baden-Württemberg responsible, I guess, if I got that right. Yes, great. Yes. So you might want to speak with him. Or if you want to align on how our companies can work together on ESG efforts, please just come and talk to me after that session. And with that, I think we're right on time. So thank you, everyone.